Hey, how's it going everyone? Hope you're all having a good Saturday. So today I'm going to be doing a little experiment on the S6. I've been wanting to get a little bit more volume out of the exhaust. I've been looking at different options. Originally I was thinking of just making my own X pipe to delete the sender muffler, but I decided to take a chance on a pre-made one for a different model. Don't know if it's going to fit, but I think it might be close. Hopefully we'll be able to make it work. Guess we'll see. So currently, what you can see I did here was kind of a hack job, but I wanted to see kind of how loud the car is. Currently, obviously, just got the APR high flow cat downpiped. The rest of the system is completely stock. So I just went and unhooked the downpipes partially. I still got, about 50% of it going through the cat back, and it wasn't as loud as I thought. Obviously, it droned a lot in the cat beams. You're dumping the sound right underneath you, but it didn't sound too bad. So what I'm hoping to do for now is replace the sender muffler here with an X pipe and run with the factory rear mufflers. If that still doesn't give me the sound I'm looking for, I might either go with an aftermarket muffler in the rear, or I've been thinking of putting a cutout right in the back there. I think that would kind of be what I'd be looking like for. I'd like to be able to keep it quiet when I want it quiet, and then loud when I feel like it. So that is a possibility. But for now, today, we're going to try to get rid of that sender suitcase muffler there, and hopefully we'll have luck with it. So here's what I got. I bought an ECS tuning X pipe for a B8 S4, and we're going to see if there's any way we can make this fit on the S6. So I'm going to go ahead and unpack it and do a little bit of test fitting and get right back. Pretty good news here. It looks like I'm going to be able to make this fit almost perfectly. I'll try to hold it up there for you, but it looks like possibly, if anything, I might have to bend this mount back maybe about an inch or so. Kind of depends how it all fits once I get it up there. But it looks like the angles and everything are completely perfect. When I was looking at the different cat backs online, between the B8 and the C7, I couldn't tell any difference. It looked like the angles and offsets and everything were exactly the same. So I thought, you know what? I really can spend the time to make an X pipe for what this setup here is going to cost. If it bolts in, it'll be a very good option for a C7 S6, guys. So I went ahead and took the chance, and it looks like it's going to work. Go ahead here and try to hold it up. I've got it upside down here. You can kind of see there. That'll be going there, and then we got our mount right there. So it'll follow back through there, and then I'll have to cut these pipes back here and put the supplied sleeve clamps on. So you can kind of see. Just like that. So I think we got lucky. I'm gonna go ahead and do some measuring and some cutting and see. Alright, so I did a little measuring, and it does look like this. The diameter of the X pipe is 2 millimeters smaller than my catback. The S6 catback is a 60 millimeter diameter piping, whereas the ECS X pipe is only like a 57, 58 millimeter, and then they also have it reduced a little bit to, I think it's 56. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the reduced end off, and I'll just have to cut my catback back farther, but that won't affect anything there. On the front it's also the same, but I think the sleeve clamp will be able to make up the difference. So not quite what I was hoping for, but I think it'll be close enough to where it'll work just fine. So I'm going to do some measuring, a little bit of cutting, and see if we can get it in there. Alright, so we are officially at the point of no return. Got the saw out, and we're going to go ahead and cut it off. So I did a little bit of quick measuring. anything, I'm probably going to have to trim it back farther, but we're going to take a shot here and see if we are close enough. And like that. Well, maybe I'm going to have to drop this support. I was hoping to be able to sneak them out. Now we should be able to drop the bracket, I'm thinking. Let's get a triple square. Alright, there we got it. Gonna have a little bit of weight saving, it feels like. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to reshape the bracket here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and trim these little ends off where they haven't reduced, because this diameter is actually still about 2 millimeters under what the S6 catback is. Alright, so along with the X pipe, they also sent clamps along. Well, the shipment of clamps didn't ship with the X pipe, so I wasn't able to get them. They're scheduled for Monday, but I want the X pipe in today because I'm going on a road trip tomorrow. Also, being that the X pipe is slightly smaller in diameter than my actual catback, I happen to have these step clamps. I bought these when I was originally going to make my own X pipe, and here they actually end up being just what we need. So if we look here, I have 4 of them. It fits perfectly to the APR pipe, steps down just a little bit. It's going to go on the to the perfect diameter for the ECSX pipe, and then same for back here, just like that. Drop it down just enough. What you want to do when you use this type of clamp, since they are not a complete 100% seal, you can kind of see there, right inside there, you can see a little air gap. Most of that goes away once you pinch them down, but it can make a little exhaust leak. So just a little trick that works great. Grab yourself a tube of this muffler and tailpipe sealer and give it a nice little coat in there before you slide it on. Once you tighten everything down, it hardens, and it will seal long enough that the soot will seal all the holes shut, and you won't have any exhaust leaks. Alright, and the other thing I went ahead and did is, what we can see here, this was hitting the little corner, which I'll show you once I have it in the car, but I took a hammer and you can see I folded it in a little bit. So that'll hopefully give me enough clearance on the corner that I'll be showing you once I have it in. But here you can see what I did. I just took a ball peen hammer and whacked it if you don't just bent it in. So that is, I'm hoping, going to give me the clearance. Alright, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. I'm going to do a little bit more tweaking here. Try to get the clearance a little bit better. We're just scuffing a little bit. So I'm going to wrap up, clean up a little bit, and then we'll go over what we got and get a first start. Alright, so I played around with the fitment a little bit more and I got everything to where I think it's going to work. So I would say this is definitely a easy do-it-yourself type of way to do it if you don't want to go to a muffler shop. The cost is probably very similar. So, however, the one thing I'm kind of disappointed about is that the diameter of the pipes. They are slightly smaller than the stock. I'd rather see larger, obviously. But this was mostly a sound mod, not necessarily performance. I'm kind of playing around with the sound I want. Most likely the complete system's going to get done at some point. However, I just kind of wanted to play around with different sounds, see what I like. So to go over what we had going here, you can see here, my clamps are pretty close, but I think everything's going to clear there. Going up through here, I ended up bending this one back and down. It used to come out about right here. So I just went ahead and bent that one back. And then I also bent it down a little bit. You can see that actually has a fair amount of tension. That is keeping it from hitting there. I still need to bolt this one up. So once that's tight, we will have a little bit of clearance there. You can see there where I was saying I bashed it in here. That is to give me the clearance I need there, which is not a whole lot. You can just see there I have, 1/8 inch or so, but I think shaking everything, I think it's going to clear and going to work. So coming front here, I've got the 3-inch APR down pipes, so you can see how much smaller the ECS-X pipe is than the 3-inch down pipes. So not necessarily what you want to see, but not necessarily that much, 2 millimeters smaller than stock. So if you were to do this, the things you will need is obviously the ECS down pipe or X pipe. Then you will also need I think these were 2¼ inch step clamps. I will try to double check that. What they are originally designed for is, say you're installing a muffler and you have it going over top, this will overlap the two. However, here it worked perfect to lose that 2 millimeters between the two pipes. It worked both front and rear, so you would need 4 of these along with the ECS-X pipe. On this side, I just simply went and cut the mount off for now. It just simply was too far. You can see if it would have been on, it would have ended up about there. So it was way too close to make anything really work. So I just cut it off. The pipe is pretty light, and I think the one is going to hold it just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and fasten the brace, and then we'll drop it down and give it a first start. All right, got everything wrapped up, so I'm going to lower it down, and we're going to give it a test fire, see what it sounds like. hopefully this video is helpful to you, and I'll possibly point you in a direction depending on what you want. Remember to hit that like, subscribe, comment down below, possibly on something else you want to see me do to the S6. I have a feeling rear mufflers are going to be next. It's not quite as aggressive sounding from what I've heard yet. We're going to take it out in the street, see what it sounds like. One thing I don't want is any drone. This is a daily. I don't want to be irritated with drone on the highway. So I'm going to take it out, see what it sounds like.